Hey Cormac, hope you and your family are having a great trip in Sweden, having a good time. This is your video lesson for today. I have four things I want to talk about. Go down the list. If you have any questions at the end, feel free to have your mom shoot me over a message. And if you want me to look at anything, I'd be more than happy to do that too. So, first thing is I'm just talking about the guitar that you're going to have and kind of being on vacation while trying to practice a little bit. I've been on vacation before, took a guitar, it hardly ever leaves the case. But do the best you can. If you have 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there, play for your family, that sort of thing. You get in as much as possible. With the guitar that you have, there's what's called the scale length, which is the length of the strings on the guitar, right? And I think that you said you're going to be borrowing a full size steel string acoustic guitar. So the scale length is going to be much longer than what you're used to. So your fingers have what's called muscle memory about how things feel. So don't get discouraged if you're playing something and you accidentally reach and you get instead of getting over there. The neck is just going to be straight up bigger. And do the best that you can with what you have. It's better to play a little bit and keep your fingers moving around rather than just going, oh, never mind, I'll wait till practice it when I get back. It's better than nothing. So that being said, like when you do your scale, for example, when you go up there to the high frets, that's going to feel different. That jump is going to feel different because the neck is not the same size. That's why when you get a new guitar, it usually takes a few weeks for it to kind of acclimate to it because that scale length is different. And the frets are going to be a lot wider too on that full size guitar. So like I said, don't get discouraged on that. Number 2 is note reading. I'd like you to send me a video of your progress with pages 8 and 9. Here's the thing with note reading, what you're doing is that you're doing a lot of things by sound. And what we want to do is make you a really good reader. The playing by ear stuff, that's great. And what you should focus on is not rehearsing the note reading exercises. I would say just practice, read one, move on to the next one. There's a difference between reading music and sight reading, or preparing music for performance. So to be a good sight reader, what you literally have to do is you have to practice just straight up, just like sight reading, where you haven't seen it before. You flip it open, you read it once through, no going back and practicing it. You just read it once, do the best you can, and then move on to the next one. You want to develop that skill. That way, if you play at the pit orchestra at off Broadway or something like that, they throw music in front of you, you've already gotten used to the idea of just seeing something for the first time. You look it over it real quick. So what you would do in a sight reading situation is, so your mom would open up the book for you to a random page that you might have looked at it maybe a couple weeks ago. And she goes, okay, you have 1 minute to look at this exercise. And you look at the notes for 1 minute, you'll go through and you'll just kind of scan the line. Look for anything that's unusual that's going to jump out at you. Say if there's a weird jump or something. See if the music calls you to do something like right there, instead of it being linear. So you want to practice just scanning the line, right? Look at the music, kind of say the notes to yourself. Listen to the rhythm in your head. It's an idea called audiation where we kind of hear music inside our head. What you can do is as you're reading, scanning the line, you hear how the rhythm sounds like ta, 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 ah, ta, ah. You scan that line, you hear it inside your head, and then after you scan the line, after maybe a minute or two, then you try to play it. So you don't try just to sit down and start reading like you're reading a book, because you're not there yet. You can train yourself to do that, but actually the best sight readers, as they're reading, say for example, if like this were music or whatever, you would actually be playing this up here, but their eyes are actually down here. It's really crazy to see that these guys, they've already scanned this area, they already know what they're going to play, and their eyes are already 2 lines ahead, looking to see what's going to be popping up. So someone's got split eyes going on. My teacher did it. It's like super cool to watch. And then some of them will do it in like whatever key you want. They're really good ones, and if you can do that, you always have a job in playing film scores and things like that, because they want you to get it in 1 or 2 takes. They don't want to spend a afternoon for you to shed out the part. Anyway, so practice scanning the line, hearing the rhythm in your head, like in your head going ta, 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 ah, and then going E, F, G, G, F, and scanning the line for anything weird. So work on that for me. Don't make them perfect, just read it, do the exercise, go on to the next one. Next thing I want you to work is P-A-M-I, A major scale. So what we're going to do is we're going to do thumb, then A-M-I. So you'll play your A major scale like that. So you have your bass note A, or sorry, A-M-I, A-M-I. major scale with AMI rest strokes. One more time, going back down. It develops a technique that appears in book 5 called tremolo. I was talking to several teachers, and the consensus was that if you practice rest stroke PAMI patterns starting at like your age, when you get to that section, it's like, oh, here's the technique. For me, if I want to play that technique, I have to practice an awful lot for about 6 months. And then if I say a short prayer, I usually sometimes able to do it. It's a very tricky technique. I think it's the hardest right-hand techniques of all classical guitar. I know there's different combinations and patterns that can be difficult, but I think that's just like the most difficult technique, at least for me. So we want to start prepping it now. That way, when you get to book 5 in a couple of years, it'll just like turn on a light switch and you just start playing. So work on that for me. And then number 4 is the book 1 recital prep. I think we're kind of polishing up Medu Minuet. So what I want to do is every day that you sit down to practice, just play through 2 of the pieces and then Medu Minuet. There's 14 pieces in book 1, and there's 7 days in a week. So if you do 2 pieces a day as a review, and then do Medu Minuet, your newest one, because that's the trickiest one, I think, outside of like Rigadoon or Perpetual Motion, you should be well prepared for your book 1 recital. So that way when you get back in town, you start planning for that and getting all the duets and everything ready to go. Cool, those are the things I want you to work on. Feel free to send me something back if you'd like me to make more specific comments. And I look forward to seeing your reply video. Bye.